4, sigue avanzando,
Dale,
sigue
dale,
avanzando,
dale,
sigue
dale,
avanzando,
dale.
sigue avanzando. Martino con la triple. Uma troca, mais um pico do outro lado, Sadak. Boa, Magalhães!
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to VCT Americas and our penultimate match of the stage. Leviathan versus Loud. Dash here, joined once again by Sean and the guards. Valen, we got Mimi over in Telestrator Jail. She'll be joining us in just a bit. But here we go. We're diving into it, like I just said. Second to last match of the regular stage here. First, let's talk about Leviathan, all right? Sentinels gave them a very nice gift yesterday, a playoff spot. They didn't even have to play in the final week to get their qualification, so pressure's off to a degree. All that said, though, Sean, they can still finish as high as 4th place.
Yeah, it's important for Leviathan at this point to just get some wins on the book, right? They've lost 3 of the last 4, and their only win actually comes against Crew, a team with 0 wins on the board. And then their other win in the last 5 is against MIBR. So it's been a long time since we've seen the potential out of Leviathan, and we know they're capable of it. It's just time and time again they're falling flat.
Yeah, and the importance for a win, especially for a team like this, kind of a young roster, you want that confidence, especially going into the playoffs now that they're locked. This is a big win for seeding, but also their confidence individually and as a team as a whole. You want to make sure, all right, all the effort we're putting into practice, all the strats we're making are good. You know, we're not wasting our time. We're creating some good stuff.
Right, especially when we were talking about, we were very jazzed about this team early on in the stage, right? There was talk about them vying in that top 3, top 4 position and still have an opportunity to reach for at least the 4th spot at the very least. But their the last week performance against Cloud9, that was one of the roughest we've seen out here on the VCT stage.
It's very weird because we just sat here complimenting Crew and talked about some of the problems they had with subs and, you know, evolving throughout the season or throughout the entire stage here with different comps. I feel like Leviathan is the opposite side of that. I haven't seen the evolution. I haven't seen them get better. It's actually the opposite. It's a lot of seeing the same tactics used all over again, and maybe some of their players' form dipping down later on in the season. And I think now before the playoffs, it's very unfortunate. They're playing Loud this last week, but they need to get some confidence.
It's very, very tough last 2 matchups, right? Cloud9 and Loud. But yeah, let's put some color to that kind of trajectory that we're talking about, right? They 2-0'd energy to open up their stage, and I think that's part of why everyone was so quick to hop on the Leviathan train. And then fine, they fall in a close series against Furia, then take 2 more in a row. They opened up 3-1. That felt like they were off to the races, but hit that drought and then ran into some very tough opponents in the final stretch in Cloud9 and about to play Loud.
Yeah, when I look at that, all I see is kind of maybe a lack of innovation for the team. They started off very hot, but once you have the footage, once you have the repetition on footage to see how you like to play, you need to be able to adapt, kind of play off your own reads. What I like to do personally is like VOD review my own team and see, okay, how would they counter me? And I think that's something that Lev can really, you know, work on because I feel like they're kind of running the same ideas across the maps and they can try to get it deep.
Speaking of some VOD review, I think it's a good time for us to hand it over to Mimi at the Telestrator for a little Leviathan VOD review.
Yeah, so watching back some of the games from Leviathan, one thing that I've noticed, same as you guys, is that they do a lot of the same thing repeatedly, and teams have gotten a good read on it. In this one, I wanted to talk about their Lotus and how Cloud9 managed to counter them out. And we're going to start by going back in time and taking a peek at their game versus 100 Thieves and how they set up on this defensive side. You'll notice, first off, where they're putting the Killjoy utility. Pretty standard for this map. Turret in mid, that's watching for B main, or a late flank through the little door into that B site, and then an alarm bot over towards the A site. That allows everyone else to float. You see all 3 of these players over here able to pivot around the map, fight for C long control, anything to that likes. And now, I want to fast forward to their next game. This is versus C9, and I want to show that they're running pretty much the same idea of a setup here, or at least they want to. But what C9 has done to actually stop them from running that setup, which, by the way, that same Killjoy utility used all 12 rounds on their defensive side against 100 Thieves, is this wall that they're throwing on their attacking side. The normal attacking side wall to lurk up on A goes a little something like that, to block off, allow you to late lurk into that A site. But instead here, Cloud9 is throwing one that cuts into B. And what that does is allow you to go for some of these faster B hits and also to knock off this common angle that turret is going to be placed on. And now instead, in this round, what LEV has to set up with is with the alarm bot, the Killjoy turret, all of that being used selfishly for the Killjoy to anchor on the A site. Still, they're going to go for a similar idea of being able to set up and, push through 3 on the extremities at times. But I want to go a little later in the half. By now, Cloud9 have moved their wall back after conditioning it in all of the early rounds to go here, like we were just talking about. They now go back to that more default wall to lurk towards A. And what this does is it means that still there has to be a physical player anchoring on the B site. The turret is set up towards A. And what this allows for Cloud9 to do is full contact up, like you're watching on the map now. You see that Leviathan is rotating players after clearing C long to go back through B. And normally this space is pretty secure when you have that turret. You see the Viper can rotate off, these players can pick it up. With the turret, you're able to just kind of rotate through there, leave that space, and stack towards A, something to those likes. But Cloud9 understand that they've conditioned that utility to be moved, and so they're set up to basically just do a full contact play into this site. They're actually going to pop through the Viper wall and catch Leviathan in transition, take them down, and win this round pretty much right off the bat, getting an advantage of 2 players. At this point, LEV isn't really going to have a chance to get back in. They'll try and maybe make a play here or there, but this is a team that in these down number situations tends to save quite often. And just little things like that, repeating same utility patterns, playing the same pistol round, it's plagued Leviathan throughout the entire season, and counter-stratting them, Cloud9's done it, a lot of other squads have too, and Loud is now playing for a chance to get first seed, so they have reason to look back on these VODs, try and counter-strat. So Leviathan, I'm really hoping, have some new ideas today, but we'll have to wait and check that one out. Before that though, we want to make sure that you guys head over to the YouTube channel for exclusive content like the series Common Ground. Here's a clip from the latest episode where Dash talked with Pancata and Tacolia about their passion for music.
O Pancada, o famoso. como que você pensa na sua lyrics, por exemplo?
A letra, é o que eu tinha comentado, eu acho que vem do momento, sabe? Alguma coisa que você possa ter passado ou não. Às vezes só flui, às vezes tem dias que você vai sentar e não vai vir nada. Eu lembro que quando eu fui escrever até tentar escrever umas músicas pra fazer com esses 2 amigos, eu lembro que no momento eu não via nada na cabeça, eu ficava... E aí, o que eu tô fazendo? Só que aí tinha hora que eu parava e vinha coisa na mente, tipo, aleatoriamente. Então vai do momento, do que você tá sentindo no momento, tá ligado?
Entendo.
Flui naturalmente.
Sim.
For sure.
You have to be able to it's freedom. You have to be able to give yourself permission to just...
Yeah, because if you are like, oh my God, I need to do a song, you don't.
You need to reach.
You don't gonna do.
Yeah.
You need to get the flow state.
Do you find flow state? I love that term. Do you think about music as a way to connect with people that you don't speak the same language as?
For sure, because everyone that is listening that music, they have something in common. Like in some moment in their lives, they pass from that. They understand the song. They don't need to talk the same language. They only need to understand the song and enjoy the vibe. It's like that.
I realize that I'm totally biased in this, but that was some of the most fun I've had working alongside 2 pros, getting to know both Pancata and Tacolia. I highly recommend you go watch the full feature, which is over 20 minutes long. You learn so much about them. It's such a fun, creative experience.
By the way, the song's actually good, too.
And the song's a banger at the end, yeah. So
repeat for sure.
I've never heard anything like that made in like all of esports. It's so cool. And it's so good.
Yeah.
Super dope, super dope. All right, well, credit to them for stepping up and doing something that can be very scary as well. And speaking of things that are scary, stepping onto a VCT stage and playing for first place is pretty scary as well. Let's talk about Loud. They did clinch a playoff spot weeks ago, and maybe at that point they felt like the pressure was off, but there are still stakes today. They need a win here to keep the #1 seed. That said, fate is in their own hands here. Last week, they lost their first match of the stage at the hands of their longtime foe in NRG. And I mean, like, what a way to flip the whole scene on its head, right? It looked like Loud maybe was going to escape the entire stage being undefeated, and yet they fall down kind of at a final hurdle there, Valen.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first games that Aspas actually didn't like pop off and play insane. Like, we're so used to Aspas just being plus 20 every series or better. So NRG's game plan was obviously to kind of shut him down and minimize Aspas so they can open up the map more, right? He's not taking over. I would say, if I'm Lev, I'm scared because coming off of a loss for Loud, they want some vengeance. They want to prove that we're still the best team in Americas. And I think Aspas, as an individual player, I want to prove that I'm still the GOAT. You know, I want to come back and drop plus 30 this time. So we'll see what happens.
And Loud has only ever lost to 4 teams now, technically with NRG, but that's the same core as Optic. It's basically only 3 cores that have ever beaten this squad. And they have a tendency, when they lose, to really come back incredibly strong. And what was interesting about that game was that the stakes weren't super high. I felt like they were going back to a lot of the same strats. They were readable, and I think that's part of the reason Aspas got shut down. But today, there really are stakes to play for in avoiding NRG.
Loud has only lost, as you said, to 4 teams in their entire history.
It's actually unbelievable.
Half the teams in this league have lost to 4 teams within just this stage. Like, just to put that into a little bit of a frame for you all to understand how ridiculous a legacy that already is for Loud to have. But it is also why, Sean, we put so much expectation on this team, on this roster, on this organization to get it done. They're expected to at this point.
Yeah, in a game where not many teams have found consistency, what Loud did last year and carrying that into this year now is unbelievable. I don't think I ever expected a team to only have lost to 4 teams and have the success rate that someone like Loud had this early on in the game.
And I think, Mimi, when we talk about that consistency that they found, at least in 2023, I go back to what Valen was saying, Aspas, right? Yeah. Because this guy has, for the most part, not missed a beat, but it was NRG who figured out how to shut him down, right? It was a strange sight, admittedly. A lot of us were a little confused. But when was the last time he looked this bad on a stage?
It is very rare, but NRG, I think, is one of the best teams that we have at targeting players and shutting them down. You see in this one, on Split, they play this double duelist comp, and a lot of their game plan was actually built on, okay, we see Aspas, we're flooding in with utility. We're using both of our dive agents to overwhelm. And it worked so well to get them these early advantages.
Yeah, I think there was actually an interview last week with Chet or FNS saying that if they saw Aspas, they were going to either dump all of their util on him and not play it for like the late round, or they were just going to go the other way.
They knocked 100 off of his ACS.
I mean, that's like his first bad game ever, it feels like.
I don't recall him ever having a bad game. It's just only Prince good games.
Even when they lose, this guy is still incredible. And I know that for him, he is a guy who expects greatness of himself. He's not taking that lightly.
Yeah, for sure. And because they're so used to winning, every time they take a loss, I feel like, you know, the typical saying, oh, every time you lose, it's a lesson. But for them, it's even amplified, more amplified, because they don't lose often, right? So when they do, there has to be a clear reason why, and you fix that, and you become so much better. So this team going into playoffs has some things to work on, clearly, and if they fix it,
at the very least, it's clear that they see it, right? I mean, even in that final image of that little package we ran of Aspas, right? The classic gamer chair lean back of just like, whoa, I'm not on today. Something is not right. So we'll see what Loud has done in the last week to kind of retool, refocus, and get themselves into a position where Mimi, they can lock up that first seed here and move into the playoffs back with full confidence behind them.
Everyone needs to recline the chairs at this point. It's just like their special place. You lean back, you get in the Mind Palace, and you improve.
The only person here that's been on like one of these like undefeated type teams is you, Valen. And you've lost, like when you lose a game on this a really winning team, what would you say the vibe is like? Is everyone like refocusing? Is it like down? Like, oh man, like how did we lose
that first punch?
Yeah,
that
the first.
Yeah, I mean, even ours was even more like unique because we were a new team who didn't lose, like who had a long stretch of not losing. So we actually experienced like losing for the first time, and that was pretty hard, just because. You know, some people have mixed emotions, especially when you lose. Some people don't want to open up as much. But I feel like with this team, because they've been around for so long and they're so comfortable with each other, they're able to open up about the problems way more. So they'll be able to bounce back.
You think the gas is just going like through the floor?
Oh, 100%. Like, every time they, fix this, they're open, they get the ball rolling, and they just go next.
Yeah.
I mean, I think at their past losses, when they lost lock-in, think of the heater they came into Americas with after that.
That's a good point. Yes.
Well, fact of the matter is, Aspas and Loud, they don't lose very often, right? Since it just happened for only the 6th time ever. And we asked him to share his thoughts on exactly that.
Eu acho que é bem importante perder também, mas obviamente o objetivo é sempre ganhar, todo mundo quer só ganhar. Só que quando acaba acontecendo uma derrota, você também tem que utilizar ela ao seu favor. Então você acaba estudando o que aconteceu na partida para saber como você perdeu e com isso você arruma para da próxima vez você não cometer os mesmos erros que te levaram à derrota e você conseguir continuar ganhando.
Well, it appears that great minds think alike in that response there out of Aspas, and it's exactly the mindset that he should have. And so once again, the question becomes, the mentality can be there. Now the results have to follow, right? It's one thing to say, okay, we need to do this work to identify what went wrong, diagnose it, and fix it. And it's another to actually successfully go through those steps, come out the other end, being better for it.
Yeah, and I think that falls on the head coach of Loud a lot, Fraud. So credit to him because every time they lose, they always bounce back stronger. Like Mimi said, when going into Americas, they were just dominating 7-0 at the beginning. So, I mean, I would say it's a lot on him, but also on the team. So I have to give credit to the head coach because he's always bouncing back, coming up with like new ideas on how to improve the team. You got to always look at ways to increase your skill top, like your
skill
max.
ceiling. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think he's always finding new ways to increase the ceiling for the team, and who knows, they can become the best team if when they lose, they keep getting better.
They've talked a lot, the players, about how substantive Fraud's feedback is. For instance, I remember an interview, like ahead of lock-in, how when he came into the team, he was just diagnosing little things, like the anti-ekers and the pistol rounds in particular. I think they were saying are the things that he really helped them focus on. He's a guy who's good at pointing out those little things, helping the team to learn. But on top of that, you also got Sadak, the IGL, who this is now the second roster that he has pushed to world champion or near world champion levels. Like the consistency to build up two new players to that same height, I think just shows how good he is at implementing that feedback and improving.
2 new players and a new head coach.
Yeah,
I mean, like it's crazy what this team has done. And listening to Aspas right there, kind of echoing what you just said, Valen, every time they lose, they know how to then beat the comp or the things that beat them before, right? It's kind of like the opposite of how Leviatán approaches their own gameplay. Loud is always slightly changing their own gameplay, right? Every time something beats them, they'll make adjustments to beat that. And then they'll just keep going. And eventually, they're going to keep perfecting their gameplay in such a way where they'll just have to pivot comps.
Work's not done, right? Yeah. You can't become stagnant when you're playing at the highest level of a competitive scene. And I think that is definitely the demarcator of world champions, as you mentioned there, Mimi. And it's a good point as well, just this idea that even with the new pieces that they have, we still apply this world championship expectation to them, but not every single person on that roster is a world champion, right?
That's true, but they also made it to the lock-in finals, and they were like a 9-3 curse away from winning it out in a crazy comeback. Like, they proved that even though this is technically a new team, they still play to that caliber.
Yeah, and I want to give special shout out to Sadhawk, like you mentioned, because that guy is a true winner. Even back when he was on Vikings, like at the beginning of the game, he was winning consistently, dominating just like he is with Loud. I think he's one of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest reason for the team of why they're so successful.
All right, so we're just wrapping up solving a small computer issue on stage. That's why we've had a little bit of a delay here. I'm curious whether or not any of you would be willing to jump to the Leviatán prediction for the day. We already saw Crew push Cloud9 to the limit. Do we think Leviatán can do something similar to a wounded Loud?
Loud doesn't lose twice in a row.
No.
Doesn't happen.
So they had to play him last week.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Well, then now, Sean, I will turn to you to make the case. What would be Leviatán's in? Like, what's the hook for them to get in?
Okay, the in would have to be kind of having a pretty good read on the veto, right? Going back to all of Loud's past games, what are they insta-banning? Go that way. Don't practice that. Find out what you want to play. Hard practice that. Create new tactics on that map. Guess what Loud's going to play. Create a new comp on that map. And then you predict what the third map is going to be. That's the formula to upset.
Figure out what the opposing team's good at. Avoid it at all costs and focus on what you're good at. Now, the top teams from Brazil and Latin America are ready to take to the stage. Let's head out to the arena to welcome Loud and Leviatán. Loud looking to lock up that #1 seed and stay atop the table as they head into the postseason. For Leviatán, it's all about building momentum as they look to shoot as high as 4th in the postseason playoff picture.
Leviatán came into Americas with high expectations as a team that could finish in the top 3, top 4. They've made it to playoffs, but this is the chance to prove that they can punch above their weight class. Thus far, it's been close games against better teams and stomping teams that you'd expect them to. But here's their opportunity to prove that this isn't the Leviatán that's in the middle of the pack. This is the Leviatán we saw at the beginning of the season that can fight for titles.
Yeah, it's always how you get back up from your losses, and this is their chance to prove that they're still a top team in Americas if they can take down Loud. I'm excited to see, oh wow, Loud's looking at it. Hey, they're hyped too, so this is gonna be a banger match, but yeah, it's not how, I mean, Leviatán, they got a tough matchup, but
yeah, it's no easy task here.
No.
It's no easy task, and I already put the pressure on Sean to develop a game plan. And like we were saying, it's about not focusing on what Loud does so well, but instead those few elements of your game that you can rely on and finding consistency within that. If I'm going to call out an individual as well on Leviatán that I'd like to see step up today, it's got to be Taco Lia. I think he's had hot and cold performances throughout the season, and when he's on, right, that can be maybe the end. If he can challenge Aspas shot for shot, then maybe things will open up on the map for Leviatán. But again, another tall order.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more with the person that needs to step up having to be Taco, right? He's joining the playoffs now. You think about some of the other duelists he's going to be joining in the playoffs. The one in the server with him, Aspas. Artists, he has Leaf that we just saw. There's all these top insane duelists that are in playoffs. So it's time for Taco to show the form that we all know he's capable of. We've seen it. We've definitely seen it in 2022. He's definitely capable of taking over this game, and he needs the openness and freedom to do that.
Interesting start to the vetoes here. Both these teams have been permitting Fracture thus far, and Leviatán is the team that goes to that, which means Loud are allowed to ban out Pearl, which thus far has been Leviatán's best map by far. They're 7-0. That really hurts off the rip for Lev.
Man, that's like ripping the Band-Aid right off on the veto. Loud is not taking this lightly at all. That's a map Loud can play, and they just took it right away from Leviatán.
And the choice here for this first and second will be Haven into Ascent, and that Heineken 0.0 Ascent is the one that sticks with me, because for Leviatán, that used to be their home ground. They were fantastic at lock-in. Back in 2022, we were like, they're the best Ascent team in the world, and they're on a 4-loss streak right now, whereas Loud has looked incredible there.
Yeah, I think it's because a lot of teams are actually watching Leviatán and how to play Ascent, so they're, with all that footage, it's hard to stay at the top, but I think with the innovation with the team, they had some losses, they can always come back, figure out why they're losing, and take Loud on Ascent. I also think Haven's going to be a banger match because I know Loud likes to run the double controller on Haven, so, kind of shutting down Taco, if they can do that, that's going to be pretty good for them. And lastly, we got Lotus.
Lotus is going to be so interesting. Loud have not played it since the very beginning of Americas when they were locking in the Gecko, which they've completely moved away from now. So who knows what they're playing there. But let's talk about Haven.
I was going to say, Lotus will be epic if we get there, but that means that Leviatán has got to get it done in one of the first 2 maps here against Loud. We're kicking it off with Haven. Leviatán on the defensive side, Loud looking to attack. But once again, that's where I go to the 2 Jet players. You've got a lot of long angles, A main, C long, right? Where those 2 Jets are going to be hanging out and looking for 1v1s.
And Taco's likely going to start here defensively, and it's going to be hard, right? Because he's going to deal with these double controller util coming at him all game. Viper Orbs on C, Viper Wall on C, Cascades coming out long. Where are the shots going to come from Taco? How can his team get him set up on these lines? That's what they need to look out for.
And the answer to that is I think the supporting staff like Mazzino or King need to be playing in front of the utility. They need to get Taco those lines themselves, counter flash, counter stun the opens, get him in front of that line to get the information, or else they're going to be getting push-pulled across the extremities. And we all know that the mid-rounding from Loud is perfect. So.
We're locked in, we're ready to go. It's time for us to kick off our second to last match of the stage and send things over to our casters. It's Van Silly and Rivington.
Thank you, Dash, and indeed, Rivington, it seems that the analyst desk have placed this matchup quite beautifully for us because Leviatán, as Mimi mentioned before, an opportunity for them to punch above their weight class. Sean said, okay, we had to figure out where Loud fights very well and try to avoid it. On paper, it looks good for Leviatán because you're playing Haven and Ascent. But Loud has been undefeated so far in this VCT Americas.
I think avoiding the Aspas is one of the best things. Des talked a little bit about how that last game might have been one of his worst, only coming up with 20 frags across the series. And yeah, they're right. Aspas usually isn't below 30 in an entire series, let alone 40, 50 if it's a game 3 that they go to. So we'll see if he is as on fire as before and coming back for revenge from that energy loss. Leviathan starting on defense, look to weather Loud's aggressive storm to start here at Long C, and it's a whole W strat for now. They're gonna pressure Lev's defense right away.
Loud already wants his setup. You see the nanoswarms coming down, but Takolia is on top of the platform. That's Leviathan that opens up first in this series. 2 already dropped down for Loud. And the spike so far behind. 40 players from Leviathan behind the default boxes. It's a 4-player crossfire setup. Too good for Leviathan so far. And they've only lost Mazzino in the process. And you hear it right now in the crowd. There's fans for Loud, there's fans for Leviathan. And as Valen mentioned, this is gonna be a banger series if it starts off like this.
A quick pistol round from Loud that almost tries to fake out Leviathan, right? They use the Viper wall towards A instead of having Sadak cut off C and then double that with the Harbor wall. So Loud was trying to get Leviathan to anchor a little bit harder. They were already prepared in C site. Great shots by Takolia to start off with that frenzy and follow up from Shy. A little more towards C again, but more defaulted across the map to make sure Leviathan isn't getting any extremity space. Quick darts out there too.
Yeah.
So quick lobby dart. They know there's no insta push. Very nice early chip damage, however, on Mazzino. So this is going to change that defensive positioning. Almost a rinse and repeat. They're trying to set up a consistency with what Leviathan will see here.
That smoke being thrown out by Mazzino is already going to stop that early aggression from Loud. They did pepper him a bit, so Loud just readjusting in his second round. But if you're looking at the composition of both of these teams, nothing has changed from week to week playing into this map. So we do want to see what Valen has mentioned before. What micro adjustments, what optimization have we done here for both Leviathan and Loud to make sure that we could find success on this map, especially on Leviathan's side because it's their map pick.
All right, play into your strengths, but hiding the ace up your sleeve as you go into playoffs. It's a pick and choose.
So far, this is all good util being used by Leviathan. Shock darts to push them back once again. Another smoke from Mazzino that comes on one end. And look at the rotation back of Loud back into the C site. And Mazzino once again has another smoke ready for that.
30 seconds left.
But there's no utility that's going to spot the early aggression, the early push at the C site. It's just going to be a contact play. Nanoswarm to split off the defense, so it's Kawadzin by himself inside the site, dropped easily by Shy. And with that, we're trying to set things up. Shy has fallen. Mazzino, as we mentioned before, low on HP in the back of the platform. There's no time left to work with. We have to move quickly for Loud. Deniability with the breach coming out from the aftershock. Support and suppress from King. Leviathan gets the second round. They convert it from that pistol.
Just flies into sight, tipping his crown to 3 members there. Loud instantly down. Cloud9 fans are happy, still cheering for blue as we come into game 2 here as Leviathan starts off strong. A long way to the end of this road for the series. Cloud has a good chance to come back, but with Cloud9 winning their match, if Loud lose here, C9 take that first seed, and Leviathan start off well in that direction. Push towards short and a push towards long here for Lev to get early aggression. This operator gonna maybe take a shot off the sonar we've been seeing. It lands actually a little early and they trade 1 for 1.
And that's the very interesting one. Trying to go for an operator early into the rounds when Takolia hasn't really gotten too many kills in, so losing this round here is not going to have too much to work with in the next round, and it's Aspas, of course, that's going to pick up the operator. The best opper in the Americas this season. But he's not needed yet. It's Sadat clearing the site towards B. Rotating the rotation away, the defenders away from the A site. But Shy at least is able to answer back.
How do you defeat a team like that? Best opera on one side, best IGL, able to split a map on the inside, finally traded after 1. But that's always what you're facing with Loud. A lot of the best, so you have to be better. A small, or slow rotation rather, towards A that Leviathan is predicting. And they have gambled correctly. They just have to worry about how quick Shy can get over here if they decide to engage.
Yeah. Oh. Or you just peek out for a kill like that. I was gonna say, it seemed as it was all right for Leviathan to play the retake. You have so much in the utility to play that post plan, the retake for the defenders, as you had that recon dart available, but now there's no flashes that's gonna follow behind.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult here for Shy and for Nosware.
They got a turret looking them straight in the face, too, for contact play before they even Loud has to swing. Taken care of.
Standing ahead.
A little bit of a god dart. High into the right.
Right on the ground. Yeah, Les just peeks out.
Stubbing his toe there, trying to jump up. Less Loud, the team comes up with a bonus round. Playing that one quite slow and going a little bit towards the C again and then back towards the A side. They have noticed that that dart keeps coming in for Leviathan on A lobby. They actually just decide to pressure straight through and see what that dart's been trying to reveal. So I like that pressure play by Loud to kind of run right into the fire there at long and get it to happen.
And you still saw the util really coming out here from Leviathan, so some optimization going on that end for the defender side to start things off for Lev is how they're going to use the utility to prevent here the attackers from pushing through from Loud. And as you can see here, chat, crowd here in our Riot Games Arena. We do have a tech pause, a little bit of audio issues that we're going to try to fix here, and we'll try to resume ASAP into this game.
It's been one of those quick games for a few members on the map as well, mainly Shy, one away from that lockdown at 5-2 now. Picking up a lot of those frags as well, and the Death's helping out to get to this ult with the Reckoning already up for Tui's on the right. So as they just get Leviathan off the bonus, they can look to hurt that first gun round too with the Reckoning if they decide to fly into sight here.
Yeah.
Or actually split the map so they can get into sight if they have Sadaktu, another kind of mid play that we just saw here.
There still has been some readable plays though from how Loud has answered right away into Lev trying to convert their bonus round. Getting Takalia on that operator early, you see a breach in the combination, in this composition, playing on Haven. Yeah. What usually happens, right? Where does the breach usually send? Most of the cases, 95% of the time, towards the A-lane, try to fault line, try to get a forward position for your opper. And Lau was just always ready for that. You saw that, I think it was Aspas on the top of the box was just ADSing down that spot. So I feel, again, if you want to try to support a little bit more and try to get more utility to get Takalia in these aggressive positions, there's going to have to be more coming out here from Leviathan.
Yeah, we'll get this tech pause sorted out quick. We see Stage talking with King, I believe. But yeah, I can't wait to see what comes out from the breach. I've always been a fan of seeing breach on the map due to the speed of retakes and the ability to counter from anywhere on the map. It really can bring up some unique things that you get out of a game of Valorant.
And with that, we'll take a closer look at how Loud works, actually. Let's get a listen on their comms from their recent match against NRG. It's open mic time, and let's listen in.
Vou abrir aqui pra esquerda, tá?
Pode abrir, vou bangar uma grafite pra direita. Pode abrir, tá bem.
Tem operator agora lá.
Aham.
Parede do Harbor aqui.
Não peguei nada.
Sky, guys.
Vou parar de fazer a parede.
Dominou A, só botar a torreta, eu acho. Rushou B, Sky
bora acelerar,
e
bora acelerar. Vai, acelera. Vou lobar aqui.
Botou a Monkey, tem um Monkey, viu?
Tá, esquerda. Backside.
Okay, when you guys come back, they can be camera.
Hey, main, one. Yep. Knives, art. Holding. Pensa a mão ali contra.
Comeu parede, backside.
One more 78.
You can play retake. We're flanking.
78 to loud.
Harbor here for sure.
Yo, I think what's flower maybe.
Okay.
Flower. He just walked in. Flower.
Deixa eu mostrar o parede. Tem Sky, guys. Tem Sky.
Tá atrás minha, Kai. Conseguiu sair, né?
What's lamps? One main.
2 art, 1 main, I think.
He killed him.
Art. I did 78 to him.
Fight him as 3. Nice! Vic, grab.
Bangar a grafite.
Parede do Harbor aqui.
Não peguei nada.
Parede do Harbor aqui, mas não teve grafite.
One aí, Dedé.
Avançou, viu, Arkai? Arkai avançou, ó. Tô voltando pra trás. Pegando a orbe.
Admira aqui, abrir.
Arkai pegou a orbe.
I'm on them. Hyper started B. I'm dogging this, Artist. Take deep fight if you want. They know we're in A mid. They know, Vic. You can drop down. I have to jiggle our Artist. If you want to take it, that's all you, bro.
Cascade mid.
Recall. Okay. Careful B.
Ele tá sem info ali.
Ele tá jogando muito de trás, mano. Ele tá aqui, viu, guys? Dá pra fazer uma aquisição seca.
14 segundos eu tenho parede. Beleza, eu lobo aqui, nós entra. Vai ter ult daqui de APR.
Cuidado ali na direita, na esquerda.
Ele foi me viu.
Perdeu também o Harbor.
Vou levar esse cara aqui, cheguei. Tenta matar esse cara varado. Tá na DD. Vai dar agora. Banguei uma ele.
I'm playing in.
They're wrapping back off. They're in. Wrapping back off.
Dude.
Planning long side.
Back off, back off, back off, back off, back off.
Vamos ter que voltar, galera. Tem que voltar. Sai, vai ter que sair.
Vai sair agora.
Tem offline, tem off. Vamos ficar retido.
Pode ter costas.
I'm back in. Back on, back on. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Corre!
Museu e outro bom.
Os dois primeiros, os dois. Sozinho.
À esquerda, 3, 2, 1, abrir esquerda.
Boa!
You know, that makes me feel great about being somebody that triple calls. You're like, arr, arr, arr. But then you got Sam in the back going, okay. Like, I just give so much credit to the people that can have the one call and know that your team hear it. Oh my gosh, it's so fun to listen to professional comms and how they organize the strategies.
And you definitely see from the communications there from Loud side, it's been very calm, cool, and collected against Energy in the video we just saw. And now it's time to resume back into this game. So thank you for your patience, chat. Let's get back into it right now. As we've mentioned, it was going to be a difficult buy going into this next round for Leviatán because it didn't have that operator. And we've done a little switcheroo. Takaleo going with the Vandal and it's King going with the Guardian. The selfless play because you need that utility from the breach. And look how pushed up Takaleo is. He hears all of these footsteps. King's up there as well. And it's Shy that opens up from Garage out towards Grass, which now pushes Loud into C.
A page out of the Fnatic book for the mid rush strat, but now to C here for Loud, or for Lev, to defend on Loud's aggression. Ooh, Loud did a really good job of avoiding all that mid pressure with the fault line and push coming out of Takaleo. But can they retake the site now if that signature utilities are coming back up?
This is perfect. Unleash push and pull from the utilities being used. An ultimate of a reckoning to gain the site for Loud. A lockdown on Leviatán's side to push them back as they regain control of site. Thing is though, the spike is planted for long behind the Radiant Knight boxes, and all of Loud are getting ready for the spray fest behind the smoke. Big flash coming out first just to delay even more. Aftershock as well to clear out towards the cubby, and it's now time to come in with that util. Recon are now picked off, so an opportunity for Loud to continue to come in with the sprays, but it's Mazzino that opens up first. Finally tapping onto the spike, trying to get it towards halfway. It's up there for Shy, but he's low on HP, and he's gonna stick it all the way, and that's Leviatán with the third.
What a regrouping, what a retake of C there after the lockdown play. Nicely dividing the site, knowing no one had scaled far enough into the site from Loud that defense spawn would be any type of pressure. And wow, Lev just lines him up, a family photo down long C and takes down Loud one after the other. This brings lockdown up as well here for King. And they're going to be able to take a site even harder again. So seeing Leviatán very comfortable with pushing mid, trying to pressure Loud off an initial strategy in that retake tells me we could see Lev pushing the extremities a lot, playing back on the other sites, and then happy with the retake every time here with the speed that is occurring.
So now we have time to talk more.
Yeah, we do indeed.
Pausa técnica, tactical pause, impose. I can't say it in Vietnamese anymore.
Tour de force?
Tour de force, yeah. But let's get into it because we had an opportunity to maybe have a little bit of that discussion around these compositions before. But before we do that, let's look at this replay across. I mean, the amount of walls that were coming up to try to defend, but it came in from both sides, right? Loud are okay to really want to block that vision on that long C to play that spray into that spot. So it's not bad as a tactic. It seems that's something that's drilled from Loud's offensive side, attacking side. So they could go for these sprays in obvious positions because from where you're looking where that spike is planted, if you want to try to learn how to play into your ranked games, you face in towards the wall of where you want to plant, and then you have the defenders having to stick onto like a 50% side of that radius to try to defuse. So it gives you a tighter angle to try to spray across to prevent the spike from being diffused.
Yeah,
and
figuring
that seems
out
to be that's what they're trying to do.
What's going to make it work, right?
Yep.
I think Leviatán had such a good idea with the lockdown and then knowing they could play Mazzino smokes long, right? Without Loud having Sova in the composition, there's not much that tells you what's going on the other side of those walls. So safety in the high tide and protection. But yeah, also struggling to find all the bodyguards that were protecting the defuse for Leviatán. Just a very, very friendly situation over there as they were huddled up around the defuser.
Yeah, it kind of felt like 300 the movie. Everybody's just defending the main goal, not letting anybody cross behind.
And it is getting bloody out there.
The wall
These
had to put up
rounds-
indeed, yes.
The rounds are showing people going down almost each time. We're in round 4 right now, and I believe it's Tui's and Les are the only ones for Loud that haven't gone down every round. So yeah, Leviathan finding their shots, hitting true. 3-1 right now. We are going to have a bit of a bye round for both, with some low armor on the other side, so.
And yeah, as we have the update that it seems to be some client issues going in for one of the players. We're trying to get that resolved and then get back into the game. So let's focus now on that topic that we wanted to mention before that breach coming in, King, but breach in general. You mentioned it's nice to see the utility coming out from breach. It's nice to see breach on Haven, and I do agree with you with that, Riv. Looking back towards 2021, going back in the days of Ghost Gaming, where Coach Kaplan, going back there, had some drilled ways of playing the flood retakes with the breach, and even Zelsis was adapting it at some point too and was playing the KO with the breach as well. But that was a meta that had like a fade, a raise. There was a lot of util that could go across the site. But with the way that you're currently playing with this type of composition here for King and for Mazzino, you're going for a lot of flashes that could really cover most of the angles around the site and use somebody like Takolia to go in aggressively first, tip of the spear, try to get the first blood, and have the rest come in for the trades right after. So a different way of approaching the retake style going into the composition for Leviathan, but it could still definitely work.
Ever since Vision Strikers breach, seeing the triangle setups that they would do, right?
Yeah.
You'd have breach in the back, 2 players up front. You could say on bind and hookah and long, and you affect that being the tip of the triangle if you have to fault line anywhere. It's just so versatile and so useful, especially if a team wants to move fast in different locations. You don't have to wait for your initiator to get all the way over there to make that work.
Yeah.
We actually saw that really cool is the desk in our stats producer was saying from Cupid Strat on the Ascent, having a flash go all the way across the map and knowing that a small gap in the map would not stop it from reaching B main. Little things like that you'd have to be in a custom game to figure that out.
Yeah.
We're to that point now where you're going to have to take your agents into that professional time. Ooh.
Looking fresh.
Nice
Look at that
kicks.
drip.
Yeah. Fantastic. Can we go all the way around, or is it just going to be unfair now?
What if somebody doesn't have their drippy shoe right now? You're just, trying to insult them at that point.
Shoes on, shoes off fans. Shoes on, shoes off for you. What are you? Are you a shoes on, shoes off player?
I'm definitely I don't know, man. I play from home, so I don't play with shoes on. So
I don't know.
Never had the opportunity to play on the stage like this. I'm too old for it right now to be able to do that as well. But definitely you could see that from the last shots that we saw, plushies came out. So Loud not coming out with the same type of tradition as they mentioned like 2 or 3 weeks ago about changing things around to make sure they don't, lose a 0-2 or win a 2-1 with being behind by 1 map. And so far, at least, when we started things off on this map here on Haven, it's still looking at not necessarily a true slow start from Loud, but there's still some struggle that has to come out. There's still some fights that have to come in from Loud, and they're still having to put a lot out onto the table to try to win this round. But with that, we have another package set up for you, chat. It's Loud's. Les is only 18. We already got 1 championship under his belt. In this video produced by the team, Les details his road to the big stage. So let's have a look at it.
Meu nome é Felipe de Loyola Basso. Eu nasci em Curitiba, do Paraná, lá no sul do Brasil. Eu tenho atualmente 18 anos. Sinceramente, meu primeiro contato com games foi muito cedo. O meu pai, ele era muito novo quando ele me teve. E aí ele ainda estava na fase de gostar de videogame, né, e tal. Ele tinha um PC e eu jogava desde os meus 4 anos de idade. Quando ele ia trabalhar, ele colocava eu pra jogar. E eu ficava jogando por muito tempo. E acredito que isso tenha me ajudado muito a não ter essa dificuldade inicial, sabe, de você chega no PC assim, pô, como é que vai desenvolver, sabe? E eu já tinha essa facilidade, porque desde novo eu já jogava. Eu não tinha muito sonho de ser jogador profissional, né, porque na época eu sempre ia falar com os amigos e eles diziam, não, se você quer viver bem, se você quer receber muito dinheiro, você não vai ser pro player, porque pro player só faz por amar. E eu tinha aceitado isso muito bem, sabe, tinha continuado jogando só por diversão e sempre focando mais na escola. Aí quando eu fui pro League of Legends jogar, eu comecei a ver os pro players e tal. Aí eu realmente vi que era possível e aí eu comecei a querer dar uma investida nisso, né? A galera comenta muito isso, sabe? Qual foi a sensação de você ser campeão mundial? Qual foi a sensação? Mas pra falar bem a verdade, essa sensação pra mim foi muito diferente pra mim dos demais. porque, querendo ou não, eu entrei no time, entrei numa org, numa equipe profissional e já estava numa final da Islândia, sabe, em 2 meses depois. Então eu não tive essa sensação de, tipo, perder, aí ter que voltar, aí ter que treinar mais e mais para conseguir voltar ao topo, sabe? Eu não tive essa sensação. Eu cheguei do nada, ganhei umas partidas, boom, tava na final da Islândia, sabe? Então foi para mim bem simples até, por assim dizer. Querendo ou não, é muito difícil, é um ambiente tóxico, é um ambiente onde você tem que ser melhor que o seu adversário e isso acaba saindo do ambiente de respeito pro desrespeito e daí acaba fazendo uma briga do caramba. Só que eu acho que não importa o que aconteça, vocês têm que ser felizes nessa carreira, vocês têm que querer mesmo, vocês têm que se esforçar muito e nunca deixar de aproveitar a viagem, porque querendo ou não, você vai estar jogando também, que é uma coisa que é o sonho de todo mundo, né? Trabalhar com o que gosta. Eu acho que o mais importante é você aproveitar a jornada, porque cada jogo importa, cada screen importa, cada campeonato importa, cada viagem importa. Então, aproveitem tudo isso.
Indeed, some great words of advice and wisdom here by Les, talking about his path to pro. Definitely a difficult road. I understand that. 20 years ago when I was trying to get into esports, it wasn't easy. It wasn't very well seen upon, and it's great to see now that the landscape is slowly changing. More support into esports, more support from the parents too. I mean, you're seeing, the family of Orner currently in the crowd. You've seen the families of other teams, other players such as EG and whatnot coming into the arenas, flying across here into Los Angeles to see their kids perform and play and hopefully hoist a trophy here for the Americas. So it's touching to see the evolution of where we started to where we are today.
And he's done it in such a great fashion as well. Like the entire team has. And just to see how much Les has done in terms of fragging, in terms of leading, and being a huge kingpin for this team has been amazing. We talked about how much Aspas does for the team. Well, with Aspas frags being so high in these games, it's usually Les that's right there. In their EG game, Aspas had 48 kills. So did Les in that series. In their game against C9, 49 for Aspas, 58 for Les. Like, this guy is right there, up on top fragging with Aspas, one of the best in the league, if not the best aggressive fragger that there is. Besides, like, maybe a Digizine or a Leaf, there's so many. That list continues.
It's definitely a great point.
I can't wait.
Yeah, because pretty much Aspas is the opener for Loud and Les is the closer, right? When you're looking at the play style, how Loud is currently playing, it's huge. Les trying to cut these rotations, Les trying to prevent the rotations from coming back into the site. If he stays alive, everybody else that actually fights inside the site on post plants on the attack, I'm just thinking about how they're playing Ascent, which is going to be that second map. It's not going to be easy once again for any team to face off against Loud with the protocols that they currently have, with what has been put together by their head coach here, Fraud. Who also is a declared esports player that has gone through those years as well from his path to pro back in 1.6.
I talked to him a few weeks ago. It's kind of, what's the solution each time? And he's like, we forget about a game and we go to the next. There's no thinking back on it. The loss definitely gave him a few issues to look at for that, but they're still moving forward. They look for Leviathan immediately and how that game would go, how they'd be able to take down this squad. So far, Leviathan, they found a hole in Loud's armor to start things off here.
And with that, chat, looks like we still need a little bit of time to fix the issues that we're currently facing here on the stage, but please be patient with us. Meanwhile, though, make sure you head to check our YouTube channel for exclusive content like series like Common Ground. And here's a clip of the latest episode where Dash talks with Pankata and Takulia about their passion for music.
Obviously, you guys are both pretty experienced in competitive high-pressure situations with what you do on the Valorant stage every week, but how does that compare to music? I'll start with you, Pankata. Like, the nerves of being on a world champion.
Bro, the music is harder.
What?
Bro, it's harder. It's like, I'm playing since I'm a kid, so I don't feel pressure playing anymore. Sometimes when I play, I don't see anything behind me. I just feel the game. But music, it's new for me. It's so hard to sing with a lot of people looking to you, cameras, it's pressure.
That's true. We made it more difficult on you. You're not just doing it in a recording studio. You're doing it with cameras as well.
Yeah.
Do you agree though?
No.
Disagree? You disagree?
Disagree?
Why? Tell me why.
Totally. Because when you play, it's a competition, and like any sport, it's always gonna be like stress and anxiety for the results or all like stuff. But music, it's like share a part of you. It's not competition. It's like a funny and a pretty thing like to do. Personally, I didn't get nervous because what I do in the music is just like share part of me, and like no compete with anything. Like if I play guitar with another one, it's like compliment myself with what can he do or what can he share for me, and it's like something pretty like, that I'm not competing with no one. Like I don't actually understand.
Yeah, I got you.
God damn, I'm so jealous of that mindset. I'm so jealous because I'm with him.
Yeah.
I'm with him, man. I get terrified for performance-related stuff. It's interesting because the thing that you said was kind of freeing, almost, is actually what I find to be scary about singing or performing, which is that it's a piece of me. So for you, you're like, well, it's me, so there's nothing, there's nothing to win or lose. I'm just showing you me.
Yeah.
I think the scary thing for me is like, will people accept that? Like, will people like me? Like there's that kind of feeling of like, well, what if I put this piece of me out there and people don't like it? Yeah. Like, how do you deal with that?
Because the only person gotta like it, it's you. It's your thing, so gotta like to you. Like,
amazing.
It's important thing. I said to Mancada, like, why you're nervous? Like,
bro, I was shaking.
Yeah, he was so nervous right there, and I say like, why? You win a final, the world champion, and now you're nervous. Like, and now you can make mistakes, and you can do it again, like fix it. And there's no reason to be nervous. You can fail and do it again. But in competition, if you fail, you fail. There's no came back. Like, it's just a forward line, and I think that's the big difference.
Welcome back, everybody, and thank you so much for your patience, not only here in chat, but also in the Riot Games Arena here in Los Angeles. Give yourselves a round of applause here. Thank you for your patience. We had a great game to start things off, and we continue, hopefully, a great game now back in here on Even between Leviathan and Loud. And as we've seen a few rounds before, it's been chaotic on retake plays. But Leviathan secured a defuse, now come in with heavy guns blazing, and we have a half buy coming out for Loud.
I love this cascade. It goes, it's like a fits perfectly right down long A. It's going to be a little milling about here as they go towards sewers. A counter, Rolling Thunder. They look to take all this space back and force Loud just into this A lobby and garden area.
And all Tui's needed to do was throw a cascade to nullify all of that. So Taco Leah and Noswar are both trying to run down sewers to capitalize on that Rolling Thunder. And that's now an opportunity for Loud to cut noise.
They want back in.
Leviathan still has to keep guessing. It's going to be jump spots. No utility, and because of that no utility, Noswar trying to readjust. A 1-for-1 as Loud finally opens it up. There's still one more in the rotate. It's King.
2v3.
The advantage out for Loud.
They don't want to plant.
Oh, Sadak was trying to cut players off rotations and got picked off here by Shy.
Great mid-round call with the positioning that they had there by Sadak. Yes, he goes down, but that probably makes them think they should continue to rotate, and Sadak was the last of the big flank.
Left.
What a rotation around the map here by Loud. The mid-round call, beautifully played. Les and Tui's look to clutch this out. That is... Tui's planting. Les could plant, but not...
This kill from Les could be important too, because the kill from Les also activates a lockdown, but the window of opportunity is closed. Yes, he gets the kill, but he's already support out from Mazzino. Jumps away, looks for some cover, and it's a 2 versus 1. Mazzino now spotted by...
He's trying to just go forward.
Last, and then there you go, Tui's sealing a deal, and we've just talked about before we got into that break. If it's not going to be Aspas to open it up, it's Les to turn around over, and he did just that.
Yeah, the closer, Les. Expect it all from him. Lockdown there with the kill. Tui's as well. He just used Reckoning on one of the other rounds. 2 away from that as we see their A take again. This was Noswar trying to get that jump peek. A lot of times the jump peek can be just as scary as that step back. And they're able to punish on every single peek that happens there. Even losing Sadak in mid, the rotation still looks clean.
Get out of my way!
More long pressure here consistently from Leviathan. I think they've noticed Lev is hovering the left side of the map more, so once this space is taken, they can start to focus B and C. But this is just Shy all alone.
Exactly that. Around that Loud just won here, just thwarted the economy from Leviathan. So a solo anchor from Shy, only with a Sheriff. Alarm bot broken, turret broken, and it was a 4-player gamble stack for Leviathan with that lower buy at the A site. That's going to open up C here, an opportunity for Loud to have plenty of time to set up for the post plant.
This is Loud's pistol round, but through garage.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they don't decide to use that Viper wall at A, but they're going to have to watch this big flank. A 2-and-2 garage and long C retake here from Leviathan. Quite a bit being used by Loud to secure this low buy round.
Positioning so good. The updraft on top of the boxes, but you heard that recon dart coming out on the attack to try to get more information, or on the defense, sorry, just coming out to try to get information here.
Everyone in the pit, man, silly.
Yeah.
They
and that's
call
the
it
fun
home.
part. So it was a weird plan on the right side of the box. It's all 4 players of Loud playing inside the Viper's pit. There's not big utility to block vision
Not ready yet.
for the attempt to run back into the site for Leviathan. But Takoli and Mazzino get it work.
Just trying to keep him in.
Yeah, there's not enough time here. Keep that economy low. Only Shy stays alive, but we're still tied up 3-3.
2 quick rounds. Loud snaps back with here. Tui's back on the ultimate. 8-3-1 for the rookie there. A reposition as well for Leviathan's defense. Loud doing a fantastic job at working just kind of the initial strat that they have each round. We even saw the Rolling Thunder they were hit with at A, be a retake towards A. It seems like they just want to bounce back and keep the original strat going as smooth as possible, even if they're deterred at first.
And again, just to take a quick step back there on that plant was quite interesting. I'd like to get the thoughts there from Sean and from Valen and the analyst desk later on here once we get into The analysis here of this matchup. Meanwhile, though, Owl Drone coming out, spotting a few players from Loud, trying to get control towards long A.
Yeah. Delay and kill mollies now actually set up for that A site, making sure that nobody can rush in on the right side and they can get more of a focus towards that sewers, control it, and then be able to fight one side of the site to the other. You're going to have Mazzino hanging out on anchor for a while here with From the Shadows, so that may be why you see Lev having less numbers on this side of the map. Reckoning comes out, and we'll see those rotations start to come back over. Les starts us off this time.
His second Reckoning for Tui's in 7 rounds. Allowing Loud once again to move in for a clean plant. An alert coming out from Sadak. The headshot onto Mazzino, but gets instantly traded off. We talk about the important utility from King. Still alive now at Heaven. Waiting for an opportunity to push in, but this might be the Leviatán Classic.
Yeah.
You have Takulia with the operator, and that's going to be too difficult for them to try to retake the site, especially when Nosware doesn't have a recon dart to support there for the retake. So they'll count their losses, save their weapons, and try again the next.
And this was Loud going straight towards that Killjoy utility that we saw, having the mollies to go through. And the really, really nice harbor utility there. As you saw the cascade, the high tide go down, the cascade presented itself right at that defender spawn entry. And just delaying that retake here coming in from Leviathan. Harbor is just shutting down the kind of utility that King wants to use on Breach to get in. Yeah. King then has to worry about, if I use this flash, is it high enough? Is it past the high tide? Is high tide in my way? So that's getting really difficult, I think, for Leviathan to get the accurate retake that they want. There's the opening from Les, and almost this transfer from Sadak. Every time they're getting one, it counts so much.
And that's the second time, too, that Sadak was attempting at least to get some control here on middle into the A-link. First time, lost it against Shy. Second time, capitalizes on a first kill onto Mazzino before it got traded out by Nosware. And there you go, here's Fraud saying, oh man, we just want to finish the series. It's going to be a long series right now, but maybe not as long or in the same fashion as we saw from C9 versus Crew. But at least once we get into the action, you know that these rounds are quite exciting, and we're putting up a good display here for Leviathan and Loud. We're basically now the Pantheon Hypoc of the Americas, Riveted and Vansili at us. We are the reasons why we have the tech pause.
I'm sorry, I said the word tech pause before the game. I said if we get a tech pause, I have some info to you. Well, we used it all. And it's my fault. So Lev, Loud. This is, I'd say, going quite a bit different than their first meeting, which did have a bit of swap in the rosters back at Champions 2022. Little Icebox and Haven go at it that they had. It was a 2-0 in favor of Loud, if you would have expected, but yeah. Still get the organizations here going together for a second time now. We'll see if Lev can get the better of Loud this time. So far, trying to keep it even. Loud on that momentum right now to try and get themselves to a really, really good first half on the attack side.
Wanted to give a quick shout out to one of the signs there that I saw in the crowd here in the Riot Games Arena. It's for Moist Moguls, actually.
Moist Moguls.
Moist Moguls doing a very good job. I think they're at the top of their group going into the playoffs, actually, in the split 2 for challengers. So a big shout out there to those competing, try to make it here onto the big stage. But with that, while we wait for this tech pause to be resolved, let's look at another clip from Common Grounds.
I want to talk to you guys now about kind of the current year, 2023. And I'll start with you, Pancata, because you go from winning a world championship, now on a new team. How do you deal with the expectation of, I've been at the top, and anything less than that is a failure now?
It's a little bit hard because the people, they don't know how that's work. My expectation is to win everything with that team, but we need time. It's hard to build a winning team, so we need to work. We need to work together and have time. I really want to win with the guys because they are really, I really like the guys. They are amazing people. So if they are amazing people, to me, they deserve to win. So my expectation is that I really want to still win it.
What do you think separates a good team from a world championship team?
Because I don't know. Sometimes the team is good, but the team doesn't win.
Keep going. Yeah.
It's like the 5 guys need to be motivated and hard worker. Because to be a world champion, you need to be a hard worker. And sometimes it's not health to your mind, but if it's your dream, you need to still try.
Do you feel like to achieve what you've already achieved, that it's required a lot of sacrifice from you in your life?
Yeah, you sacrifice your time, your family, for sure. You don't see your family, your friends. You spend a lot of time playing, so you need to sacrifice maybe half of your life.
How do you deal with that?
The only thing that is worth it is because it's your dream.
Yeah.
There is nothing more than that. Like, if you think anything else, it's not worth it. So you gotta sacrifice everything if you wanna win. Like, but if you really don't wanna win, don't do it. Like, don't do it. It's not healthy. It's not gonna be good for you. It's a hard process.
Once again, another great excerpt from Common Grounds here with Takolia, and also here from Aspas. And great questions being asked by Dash here. Make sure you check it out on our YouTube. That said, though, I do like what Aspas was saying, where the vibes have to be good. He wants to win with these teams. All 5 players seem like they are hungry for this. And I had the opportunity to speak with Fraud too, and Fraud, not only that he puts a lot of this into the strategies around the playbook for Loud, but he's also almost like a father figure, if I could put it that way here, to make sure, there you go, like the kids are having fun here during this tech pause, but also, yes, inside the server, outside of the server, make sure that there's good synergy, there's good fun, and you have 5 players who are hungry to win. So the good thing about it too from this roster is that they are also a team that are ready to learn from their mistakes, to see how things are gonna go from losing map 1, catching up on map 2, winning the series 2-1. And every single time, everybody's ready to just sit down and get ready and be in the lab and get everything ironed out, flushed out, to make sure at least in this week, this victory versus Leviatán would solidify for them to get the first seed going into the playoffs of the VCT in Americas, and also only 1 win in the playoffs will guarantee them a spot at Tokyo.
Right, and right now, Vans, regardless of where the teams, I'd say, in America sit, where any of the leagues or teams in the league sit, they've all found that success from the hard work. They're on the stage, they're fighting for that trophy. Do you think you can catch one of these?
I'm trying.
I don't think they can see me.
I don't think they see me. Oh, it's a fake toss. It's a fake toss.
And honestly, it's got to feel good
to
be able to achieve that dream, especially at the World Championship. I always think what it must be like for that team that wins the championship. Just that moment you're finally alone in the hotel room, thinking to yourself, all that work paid off.
Yeah.
Right. When you have a first moment to yourself, since it's all celebration after that, it just must be so immense, such an immense relief. And everybody on stage fighting for that.
Yeah, and now to go back into the comedic relief here, I like how in the
it's so good. This has been awesome.
I love how in the Americas we have, jugglers with the hot hand packages. I know that in the EMEA, was it Alphayer that was doing like a stack cup kind of thing? I also want to know what the watch parties are currently doing. Usually in these moments, if I'm hanging out in Sliggy's watch party, I usually do some subs. With some funny names. Who could come up with those? Sliggy's chat. Welcome to the Slow Club.
Well, Lau definitely keeping us entertained here as they play little hot hands. I think as they have a player or so sort off to relieve themselves. Obviously feel comfortable for the match here as we get sorted with the computers. Before we get into game again, thank you so much for your patience online and in-house. You have been amazing. This is taking a little extra time here to get this sorted so we can keep this competition rolling as smooth as possible.
And walking into this game, before we actually stood here and got ready to cast this series, that started things off very, very quickly until these happened. But overall here, Riv, we always had an inkling or maybe an assumption that this game wouldn't be as challenging or maybe won't be one-sided because we're going to let the pedal off the gas.
Yeah.
Because these two teams already qualified now going into the VCT Americas into the playoffs next week. Next week already, by the way. So they won't have too much time to prepare, but with that, from what I've witnessed in the last 7 rounds of this first map on Haven, it has been intense. You're still going with that Leviatán special of saving on these retakes at a player disadvantage. So we are definitely putting a lot of effort into this game for both of these teams. One for these teams for Loud to make sure that they stay at the #1 spot. And again, for Leviatán, as Mimi mentioned, an opportunity for them to show the world that they could punch above their weight class. And with that, we're still winning here, as officials are still working on these client issues. So we'll hand it over to the analysts to test their map memory.
I'm gonna run over there.
Those are fun.
I think I can do
Those
this.
are fun.
Yo, get in here, Riv. The more the merrier, my friend. I will echo as well what Riv said earlier. Thank you so much to everybody both in studio and at home for your patience while we sort through this technical issue on stage. And as soon as we're ready, I promise you I will cut this short and we'll send you right back out there to the arena. But map memory. We had some fun with it earlier today. The game, if you forgot, is quite simple. It's can you draw a mini-map from memory? We stare at it all day. It shouldn't be hard. After we spend that many hours playing and still being a gold-ranked player, you'd think we'd at least know the mini-map, right? Okay.
Very hard.
Here we go. We're going to use the telestrator. Mimi's up first. The person is going to get a map that they've not been told that they will get. And
just
within
don't
this
give me
box, it's going to be loaded.
It might not be loaded.
It might be. Or, yeah, I was going to see the 3 mappers, Haven. Oh, look what it is, Mimi. It happens to be Lotus. Map number 1, or no, actually, we're moving the clock because 1 minute was so difficult last time. And also, we don't know how much time we do have. So we're going for pure accuracy here, Mimi.
Accuracy.
What do you think? Can you do it?
No.
Okay.
Let's try.
I like it.
Okay.
Let's get rolling.
1 second, I have to envision the map in my mind.
Yes.
It's Lotus.
And remember, attacking side will be at the bottom, defending side will be at the top.
Like you see it in the game.
Yes.
Okay. A site, let's start with the A site. It's like a
that would be the C site. Oh. Just wanted to, I'm just trying to, you know, look, I don't mean to.
C site, okay. It's something like this. So this will be bend, and then we have like, this is like a staircase here. That's how I would draw
Oh, wow, even going for the staircase detail.
Then we have like this, and then it's like kind of like a weird like L thing here, and then there's like a box here, and then it goes around. Oh, no.
Oh,
Waterfall.
Erase?
Oh, we can do that.
We can erase?
We can erase. Okay, that's fancy.
We
and
have
that's
the
also still
technology.
wrong. For water, dude, okay, I'm just moving on. Waterfall is very small.
We are right now.
No.
Really? I see this perfectly. I think she's actually doing really well with Seaside at the moment.
There's C long, and then this is kind of a Seaside. That looks normal.
Actually,
C
okay.
here. Okay, let's do. This is like 2 defender-sided spawn, and let's draw a waterfall. Waterfall comes like this, and then there's like a little like a thing here, and then there's like a little gap, and then it goes along, and oh god, that's the
place where you're in the middle of the map now. You're pulling a Valen right now. You're completely unaware of how much the scale.
Okay. This is the like spinny
It is the hardest part.
This is the normal long. Wait, how? Okay,
Mimi.
there's like a section that goes around here, and then there's like a mound there, and then this is like the revolving spinny door here, which means this goes in to like front. B. Wait, B is all the way over here. That's not how that's
You're doing all right.
Okay, B site. Okay, it's like, there's like a little drop thing here, and then there's like the little circly thing here, and then is there a box? There's a box here, and then
it may even be 2 boxes.
Well, it's like kind of like 2 that's like 1, so it's like a little thing like that, and then it goes down here, and then this opens up into like the little baby door room.
Yes.
And then that goes
baby door room.
Yeah, baby door room.
As it's commonly
baby
known.
Door is the real call.
Yeah. Oh, I like that as a call. I'm gonna use that for forever now. Baby door.
I forgot to make the entrance into A, but that's fine. I don't think there's actually an eraser on this, so we're just gonna like pretend that like opened up properly, and then do something like that. It has a little indent to grab the orb, and then it goes out, and then there's this section here, and then it goes around. This is taking a horrific
Taking a long
amount of
time. Also, it's losing its accuracy as we go.
Wait, this has to connect.
Yeah. So this is the connect. This is the door.
Yeah,
remember?
that's the- but
So
how
this
does it-
should actually connect to this. It just goes straight through. So you come out of B. There's a box right here. Then you would go into cubby. This is where orb is here.
Yeah, so this
you come
was
out
supposed to
here.
be this whole way.
Yeah. There's a second cubby here,
That's
a big cubby
fine.
before you get down into
We're
spawn.
redesigning the map. We're
Yeah.
making adaptations. We're changing.
Developers, designers,
That's
take note.
fine.
Take
Yeah,
note.
No, I actually really like this. You
Yeah,
might
that's
be
a good
making the map
design.
more
I'm
defensive.
just gonna try and speed this up and finish this because I'm taking way too long. All right,
love it.
this
Okay,
is the
stairs,
A
A site.
the little stairs to get in. This is other revolving spinny door room tree. There's like a little indent here. There's a little tree here, and then it's like this, and then there's
door.
another
Don't forget the
spinny
pit.
door. The what?
The pit.
The pit?
The pit. The drop at A.
Oh, the drop,
Yeah,
yes,
back,
that
yeah.
little
Drop.
corner. So we'll do another little like staircase
Perfect,
icon to show what
perfect.
that is, and then
Heaven.
this goes back, and
Great.
Yeah,
this
you see-
doesn't actually connect.
There's actually there's a platform here, and
Yeah,
then
but
there's
then
a
there's
double
like a little
boxes.
rope
Yeah, and
there,
a double
and then
box right there.
Oh yeah, there is.
Yeah.
And then this goes back
good
to spawn,
KJ spawn.
which drops like this, and then like this, and then connects over here.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I'm
Not bad.
this is quite good.
We sort of, so there's over
Okay.
here you come downstairs, which connects to then a longer
Let's
piece
just say,
across
like,
the back, right?
This is just the B
Yeah.
site, so let's pretend that like, what
Well,
the hell?
here's
This is
you said this is B site. So actually this is you need the top cove area.
The little thing.
Yeah, where you
no,
put the KJ turret
Wait,
from
that's
the
not a hallway there.
No, not a hallway. It's just an open doorway here
But
to the
we
back,
should just,
right?
like draw long now. There's like rubble down
Yeah.
here, and then there's like the little like this little
The
thing.
juddy
that
thing.
Oh, that is like not really accurate, but you would put like the Viper up here in your default.
Mm-hmm.
Where the what?
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 Well, so
I think it
remember,
looks
this is baby door right here.
Yeah.
So
but it shouldn't
orb
be.
would actually be
I
right
thought
here.
This was baby door, but this is just the
No,
void.
this is empty
the void
space.
calls
Yeah,
for me,
that's-
and I put it there.
All right.
Okay.
You feel like you got it?
No, absolutely not.
I
but-
feel like she got it. I feel like you're not going to be able to tell the difference. When we flip this to the real map,
you
you're going to
just-
be like, what changed?
cut it off like here. Oh God, I'm just.
All right, ready?
Go for
Give us that reveal, everybody. Give us. Look at that. It's picture perfect.
I mean, it's not as horrific as the ones earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah, we
pretty
did. We
bad.
did take 10x the time.
I think I literally took like, this is a 50-minute tech pause now after drawing that.
I mean, look, I think we chose the right game. We chose the right game for a tech pause, I think. Okay, well done, Mimi. I think we're getting better at it. We're scaling, if you will. Who wants to go up next? Valen, you want some redemption here?
Can we do like teamwork? Could both of you like work together?
Yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah, Mimi and I could step
Sure,
out. The
they're
two of you could work
power
together. I like that, the
Yeah,
shared
let's-
mind. Mimi and I are going to step
We're
out.
gonna do great.
We'll let you guys go ahead and take
Those
over.
guys are really
got,
smart,
dude?
right, Dash? They should get
They,
that.
they absolutely. Come on.
Oh.
Second.
All right, what is their map? Can we scroll down?
Yeah, we'll scroll for the map. Haven, the other triple site map. All right, boys, work together.
All right.
Wait, is it
I'll
spawn
start
at
us off. Spawn?
Which one spawn? You going to attacker spawn? I think we start by C and we go left to right.
Okay, guys,
Start
defender
C.
spawn is on the
Start
top,
C.
attacker on the bottom.
Okay. Let's
And we
start
can't
C.
start by the top. The site goes up, right, into defender spawn.
You want our help?
Yeah, so like right here.
So it's not like here. It's not like here.
All right, now.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's just
This is
oh,
good.
whoa, no. Wait, that does not count.
We have one line.
Chill. We're
All right.
cooking. We're cooking.
Redo.
That's the wall of C.
That's perfect, actually. Go down, right?
Yep.
Nice.
How far down do we go?
We go like
on.
this against the wall.
Okay, so this is like the
And
back of C site.
Following, and then we got
And then-
like the plat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
one at a
wait,
time,
we
guys,
can't
one
wait
at a
till-
time.
Whoa.
Race tool.
Whoa.
There we go.
Got like plat. Goes on.
Yeah, platform.
Okay.
Flat.
We got the box, default box.
Right here. There's a box right here.
Yeah, we got that box.
Double stack box there.
Default.
Huh?
Oh, these guys are
We got
spinning.
logs here.
All right, go ahead. We got the logs.
And
We're
then
gonna connect here, and then. Oh, wait.
No cubby.
Oh, yeah. He caught himself. There's that cubby.
Yeah, we got like a box here.
Yeah, double boxes right there.
Fire.
Nice.
And then
How do you get into garage though? That's looking awful small.
Not bad though,
Wait a
actually.
second.
Yeah.
No, this is like.
You need a little indent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
Now
this
we're
guy
going to
knows.
stairs.
Yeah.
Stairs.
Corner up
Yeah.
there.
Stairs to defender spawn.
there's a box.
Remember Omen TP's that box? Sometimes.
The
holds like
Jojimo
this.
box.
Yeah, TP's. Like right here. It's a.
Oh yeah, you're talking about in spawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, bro. I TP there all the time.
Okay.
That's like my second home, bro. I TV there all the time.
He did the smile at the gym.
All right, let's think then. Okay, so this is also like leading into garage.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yes.
That's not bad.
Like
Let's
that.
go, boys.
There's like a cubby over here.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
And then it goes like this.
Okay, this is...
Oh. Touched it with your wrist or something?
Oh, we lost something up there now. This is actually
Oh yeah, you have to redo from logs to defender spawn there. You had drawn that line.
Yeah, you cannot touch and hold or it will break.
Yeah, one at a time. There we go. Boom. Cool, that brings you to stairway. You might actually want a shorter line.
Wait,
than that,
yeah.
No, we can make that into a stair. We're good.
Oh, that's fine
that's
too. Yeah, you can,
perfect.
yeah, that's fine. Draw like more lines like this, like that's part of the stair. I like
These are
that.
like stairs, so.
Yeah, like that. Boom.
Stairs
boom.
there.
And then if you draw the other line across to finish the wall.
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
that.
perfect. Yeah, like that.
Perfect.
Nice.
Oh
All right.
my God.
Dude, adaptation.
All right, and then we got like garage, like window here.
Okay.
And then garage wall, and then you got the box here in garage
True.
that people play against. Then you kind of got like the little door.
Yup.
I don't think I think it angles the other way. The right one angles in and the left one angles out.
No, that's cap.
No. He's correct. Because when you're holding inside garage,
I remember peeking that
when you're,
angle.
I can envision
exactly. You're inside garage holding that corner with a bucket here.
Yes, we're winning this one.
Yeah, you got it.
You guys.
Dirty tactics. I do respect it.
And then a little.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. No, the door's wrong. So you had the right angle on the door.
Dash, you can't help them.
I'm sorry. I want to help so bad.
Stop
I want to
helping
help
them.
so bad.
He's trying to run over
This is
them.
really hard for me to not go over
No,
there.
there's 2 doors. You spam 2 doors.
Yeah. You kind of fixed it there.
Dash.
Sorry.
Calm down.
Yeah.
They'll find a
We're
solution.
good. We're good. And then
You're
you
like
got
a
little-
teacher. You
got
have to
little
let the
jump
baby
up there.
birds
Oh
fly.
yeah, staircase right there. You gotta go like
Shove 'em
down
out the
here,
nest.
go like this. There's like a little cubby down here.
Yo, this is perfect.
We go like this.
They're actually doing great.
and like this. And then there's that box that Omen TP's on to like hold defaults back in the day. Where's that at? It's somewhere over here.
Wait, so this is long? It's right. It's literally right here.
I want to help so
It's like
bad.
there's like a box like right here.
Yeah.
That looks. Wait.
Yeah. We're actually really spot on right now. Is there?
Wait,
this
is there room for
Yeah.
And then attacker spawns low, right?
Yeah, they're running out of space for attacker spawn, but
Go straight across.
I think they can still make
And
it
then
work
down.
here.
2 entries. Yeah, there's like 2
like
entries.
this.
You can't go to the bottom though, because we gotta make the bottom of attacker spawn. Oh.
I know, dude.
What?
No,
Yeah,
there's like 2
yeah.
entrances, you know?
Yeah, this is entrance 1.
Yeah. We gotta make like a square, like, right? Or a rectangle.
Oh, I was just told, I think I just heard through the grapevine that teams are ready. So let me just pop on camera real quick to say we're gonna preserve
Look at
this.
that.
Look how close they got. Holy crap.
Look at C.
Well done. Teams are ready. I told you we wouldn't waste any more time, so we're heading back out to the arena. Riv, Van Steely, take it away, boys.
One more time, thank you once again, everybody in the Riot Games Arena and also online. And not gonna lie, not too bad there, Sean and Valen. But at the same time, I was hanging out in Slinky's chat. He drew it in like 20 seconds, so. And you guys were 2. You need to step it up.
I think the trick is to draw the walk line through the map and just outline your walk line. Nobody forgets how to walk through a map. Draw the walk line, put an outline around it. Boom, map.
Don't worry. It's not a tech pause. It's a timeout. Okay, so we got a timeout being called now. Just to put everybody into place, get everybody back into the game, get their mind in the right place, because as you've seen before, everybody was juggling around here from Loud side. So Fraud calling it, I think, and then trying to figure out what we're going to do here. Sorry, it's owner's timeout call.
Yeah. Well, they can't talk during a tech pause, right?
Yeah,
There's
exactly,
no communication. There might be hot hands throwing, but no talking.
Yeah. So let's resume into what we just witnessed there on that previous round, because it has been a while back. It was that rotate that came across, the hit towards the C side, and then eventually in the end, it's Loud that takes the lead here in this series. Actually, it was a hit towards the A site that actually forced the 3 players to save on the post plant.
Yeah.
So keeping the economy high up here for Leviatán. And now calling the timeout. How do we buy around with the last 2 players? It's all of them with rifles, small shields, and an operator out for Takolia. Not far away from Maltz here for Noswer and for Taco as well.
Yeah, on the side of Loud, Tui's has been frying already. 2 reckonings used here already early in the first half.
This is
8 and 3. Probably be one on the horizon for him again if they start focusing orbs. Same defensive strategy here for Lev, but they don't have the breach assisting Takulia this time.
Nano Swarm 2, Gravwell to try to push Takulia away. It's going to be a one-on-one against him unless we could force Takulia to fall back. Noswar under heavy pressure in the A site. The double swing to come out. Sadak gets the first blood since we've come back. Lesterigo gets that lurk onto Sewers to drop Takulia. And that's an open A site for Loud to plant. Look at the rest of Leviathan's players. Yes, there is still King at A Heaven. But for Madzino and Shy, they are far away. And far away of coming back in this round. Loud should be able to take the lead by 2 here. There's no movement coming out here for any attempts of a retake.
Yeah, this will be one of the second rounds we see Leviathan already saying the guns are going to help us more in the future rounds. They'll be going for one of their patented saves once again. Madzino has had from the shadows a few rounds here. We've seen Lev trying to more play a retake style, allow Madzino to anchor one side, but the speed right now at which Loud is moving is not allowing for Madzino's rotation to even come in with that ultimate. Leviathan predict a C hit. It's A once again. Shy's utility does not come into play for that one, and Loud again rout the defenses of Leviathan. See, coming into this next round, full buys around. The Seekers for Cowanzine is right on deck. So expect to see that one here, providing a good amount of space as Loud tries to take the map.
And Leviathan saving the weapons that they had, but they couldn't save the operator, and Takulia doesn't have that economy to get another one in, but at least he has a Blade Storm. Will there be some sort of pressure going into the next round?
Big ones. Wow. A, B, or AC, AC. Haven't really been a big fake strat yet for Loud. They just commit, and why not after you get one? The Killjoy utility is there, though, for Shy.
And it's a recall smoke for 4 players to drop Madzino right away, but Shy's moving in. The headshot through, but Aspas answers right back. Easy for them to pick the spike right back up and get the plant on C. Default spot for Long, looking for deniability. Oh, it is the Hunter Seer that comes out from Noswar. Connects onto 2!
Okay. Caution here. Noswar lighten up a little bit.
The Blade Storm still available, waiting for a recon dart here from Noswar if need be, if not working in together. Now the auto cues are coming out. Aspas trying to get an angle here. Out towards the cubby of the C site. Now up on the platform, the daggers miss. And Aspas wins his own duel. And that's Loud now starting to run away with the first half of Haven.
Less even with 2 mollies there. They're incredibly sure about what that hold was going to provide for them. Didn't even decide to put those down to deter the spike, the fuse. They wanted Leviathan to feel comfortable on the way in and then pounce. Really nicely played. Those Seekers are ready for Cowanzine. Taco back on this operator. One of the few times we saw it, moments later it was in the hands of Aspas. So they have to be very careful.
Enemy remaining.
Quick peeks, nice contact play off of Garage and Long. And making sure they were close to that so they couldn't be smoked off or played with in any type of util game at the end of the round. Down towards short. Remember, Seekers is there to flood the site if they want to push in behind it.
Another operator out this time on the C site, so a switch in positioning and putting Shy now on A. With his Killjoy utility, Seekers coming out on the attack is pushed away, and now the Cascade comes through. He does get a headshot into Aspas. Also connects onto the second one with the spike falling down. He still has support though on the A side. That's Noswar coming from behind with the stinger. The headshot onto Cowanzine as Sadak looks for the angle, gets it. Enough for the trade up at Heaven, doesn't work out. Spike still down out in the open. Takulia was aiming down the sights but couldn't connect onto the shot. That's Loud now with another round.
Loud repairs that, and safe hands last comes up with another closer, this time grabbing the operator. I wonder if they haven't dropped it yet, if it'll go to Aspas. I can't see it not, though. What a round. Seeing how Leviathan actually was able to skirt by the Seekers there, having deep sight clear a few of those front ones that would have detected the early defense. And you thought Aspas going down first was just going to crumble the strategy. The chaos was created and lost. Now Loud still file in. Seekers gives them enough information to take A. And again, A to C, A to C. This time they might double up on that A hit as the Viper wall is ready to go. But Leviathan is here with 4.
That's a big paranoia that comes out, but there's still more delays from utility on the attack, so that's Kawadzin opening things up. Yes, there's a trade-off with the shock darts from Noswer, but it's still allowed. Step in, putting their foot down on the kill feed.
Yeah.
With the player advantage, but this is what I'd like to see. Finally, some quick flanks coming out, but it's only Shy with the Stinger so far away. Off shot misses. He's also the last man standing, and hopefully they could salvage into the last round here, Riv, because as you mentioned, a lot of ACs for Loud, but at the end of the day, it's just them sticking as a group. Sometimes with a late lurk from Sadak, but this could be an opportunity here for Leviathan to really try to get more aggressive on certain extremities with the pressure that they're getting on the other side.
We do see the aggression is happening as that timeline comes back up. You'll see that Loud was able to get into the sites. Lev play there. Okay, let's save as the spike goes off around 6, 7, and 8. But 9, 10, 11, those are all kill rounds because Leviathan's now trying to push up, get in the face of Loud, who are answering so well. Again, pushing up. Is the answer here. The elbow.
The elbow.
Oh my gosh, it's so touch and go right now, but it's going to be a long A again here for Loud as that flank is watched by Les again.
The first big opportunity for Leviathan to get the first blood in the round and try to convert a 5v4, but we still stand all 10 players alive with 1:15 left on the clock, with Loud now being quiet, cutting noise here, trying to force Leviathan to make a mistake.
And there's the ability to go back to C here. The Viper wall's up. That they just used at A to take the site. So diversifying where they use this Viper wall, they're trying to set up these consistencies that Leviathan will see, try to predict. But Loud keeps changing it up.
Kawadzin actually threw a Trailblazer out towards the garage, trying to force Leviathan on a rotate. We talked about punishing mistakes. But look at how we stand our grounds this time on a defensive side for Leviathan. Not biting into anything, not moving at all. An aggressive position with the operator looking down towards Sewers, and it's Noswer that has to protect his teammate on the other end. Connects with the first and the second one, and then a hat trick into the round. Where's the trade-off here? He does have the crossfire setup. It works out for Takulia for the kill. And finally here was salvage, a great round for Leviathan. 4-8 into the half.
Switching sides. And a pop-off now for Noswer coming in. The Hunter's Fury round into that hat trick, coming up huge for the last few to make sure that this is an 8-4 first half.
And with that, let's get ready here to see this replay, though. The great positioning from Noswer. You needed an anchor so that Takulia could just focus on that single angle of these Sewers, and it worked out perfectly for the trade right after. He wasted enough time for Leviathan to go for the retake, and that's what we needed to see. And with that now, as we mentioned before, to salvage the last round into the half, we'll now toss it on to the desk to see what they had to say from that first half.
Thank you so much, Van Silly. Bitten start and stop for us, in all honesty. So it's kind of weird how you come out of that first half struggling to get a sense of really where the momentum lies, right? Mentioning that Lev gets one back right at the end, but hard to say that anyone is like squarely in the driver's seat when you've had to start-stop so many times.
Yeah, it's brutal to have those on and off, start and go, but I think it makes it all the more impressive, that streak of rounds that Loud managed to put together. In particular, it was just these repeated A hits round after round where it felt very classic Leviathan. Yeah. Loud gets an early advantage, they set someone up on alert, get, say, +2 players, and then Leviathan just saves in the 3v5.
Yeah, and their A control was so difficult for Leviathan to get any info on. Mollying short A with the Killjoy, you know, cascading long. Where are you going to get an op angle from? And then meanwhile, Sadak is Viper walling front B to block off all of the Killjoy util, and then doing lurks on A link. It was so creative coming out of Loud for a game that really doesn't matter too much for them.
Yeah, the utility usage with this Viper to deny information on those Killjoy setups was so good, like you're mentioning, with the lurks Sir B. There was the rounds where they were set up over towards that C side as well. Put up the wall, 3 players are facing, they drop it and just take a timing to fight. They have a lot of these little game plans that honestly look so fleshed out.
Yeah, and Les here, I mean, we saw the pit going down on the C site. That pit was insane. They all occupied the pit back site. They planted towards defender spawn, which is something I rarely see on C plants. And they just occupied the pit, which was top plat, back site. went all the way to logs.
And it was Less's impact in these post-spawns that helped them build that streak, be it in the late round lurks or with these Killjoy mollies aiding on top of that Viper utility in these posts. Leviathan was constantly having to play into those retakes, and they were really struggling at them. 8-4 off your attacking side is not the worst. This is very much doable. This is definitely a stronger side we're going into for LEV.
So within reach, however, not a sure thing, of course. 8-4 is the first half. Let's head right back out to the arena to get the second half underway. Back to our casters.
Thank you very much, Dash, indeed. And now you're seeing a history at the bottom of your screen. Ever since we had the economy right for Loud, it's been their story all along on the attack. But now that they take the defense, Leviathan with the straight protocols of how they wanted to salvage as many rounds as they could. Right, they were struggling here in the first half with their 1-7 on retakes, but maybe salvaging these 4 rounds was good enough for them to now start off on the attack.
A C strategy of their own, it looks like here from Leviathan. With Shy's turret behind him, you expect this to just be a hold forward with Shy hanging back a little bit. They do have ghosts, good long-range attack ability here coming into just 2Es, but the frenzies are what scare me here. It makes a retake so much more powerful when you can continue that strafe in and get multiple peaks. Quick plant, quick sight. A little bit of damage, but this is going to be good. Double controller can really block a lot of what Leviathan might want at C-long. They can't all go C-long.
This is where it stays different, though, for Leviathan. They're fighting inside the side instead of playing towards long. It comes out for a couple of trades, but it's still Loud trying to flood back in. Right at the logs, Mazzino trying to catch one off guard. Does so!
Enemy remaining.
And gets a second right-click classic there onto Akbaz. 2 players low on HP, still doable here for Sadak. But it's Mazzino that allows Leviathan to get another pistol.
Another one, another plant. Something pretty interesting about both of these teams is they rank below average in Americas for plant denial. The average being around 30, so both Loud and Lev below that, with teams like Energy above 45% plant denial. So what we're gonna get out of this game is a lot of coast plant retakes and a lot of fights going on here. It's gonna get really great coming up on these rounds. So we might just see Loud playing a little more retake for themselves. Not for C, though. All 4 in C to start this round, predicting a rush. And a little bit of a lurk up towards garage here from Les. Spikes down for Leviathan. They actually want to play Loud in a way where they want to see if Loud will push, how much space Loud will take, and get a little bit of a read on their early rounds. It'll make the later rounds much easier to play when you know who wants to push and where.
I have the spike.
With Sadak pushing down B, breaking that turret right away. Leviathan does not want to move at all. Neither does Loud. They want to continue to gamble stack on C. If Sadak can continue to delay here on the A side and hopefully funnel his opponents back on the C side, well, it's going to be bad news for Leviathan. But Leviathan are opting for the better option, the better read here to execute towards the A site. And there's that open plan.
Quick slide in. Spike goes down again. So that's 2 plants now successfully here for Leviathan in the second half. Much easier on the second one.
Yeah.
But again, staying in sight, not giving any space to this double controller team, Vansili.
And I like that, playing inside the site, especially when you're playing against that double controller.
It hurts.
The high tide that comes back around that could wrap around the site. You want to make sure they're staying inside of that. Now you're not blocked, rather. Your vision from playing from sewers or whatnot. So this could be something very good for Leviathan, something that they've been working on to readjust against Loud's playstyle. As they now take the attack, continues to be at least a very good start on every half so far for Leviathan. Winning pistol, converting that second round, now into their bonus. It's where we have to see here if they could definitely punch above their weight class.
And we were looking towards that breach as well for King. How quick will this activate the squad? Are they going to move off that fast? Is it going to be really based on Nazwar's utility? It's always going to be Shy on the back that we've seen from both of these strategies, watching his turret or his alarm bot. So a lot of the times it's a four-man team taking these sites. Loud divvies up their defense a bit. You see all this utility from Les now going towards garage, spread out between that and B. And they're actually expecting a bit of maybe the updraft into B on this round. The mollies are prepared.
Yeah. Easy thing to do here on the lower line. Trying to get the entry into the B site. Nice little updraft dash here from Takolia.
Yeah, still gets it.
And that's a plant shot at step to escape right after if needed from Manzino. But we're keeping Takolia behind Gong. Loud already moving in, and Takolia gets 3 into the round. And with the gun round that comes in for Loud, gets fully denied. Leviathan now have an opportunity to play the pulse plant outside of the site. Takolia doing all of that work.
This is the avoid Aspas part. Most teams try to achieve this. Yeah, they're giving him hell right now.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to go ahead and play this as a hero gun next time. Maybe a few kills towards out. Yeah, pinged, and bye-bye.
And Aspas is playing avoid the rest of the team from Leviathan, hunting him down. The off angle wins that first duel, but the other two are falling back to save their weapons. Trying to get weapon upgrades here. Manzino will get a Vandal. Well, maybe not. But nonetheless, it's still a round for Leviathan and to convert a bonus round. So that's a huge check to put on your checklist to convert here an upset win against Loud on your attack side.
Yeah, and we're seeing that plant denial, below average stat come into play, whether it's by choice or not. Lev's getting the spike down. They're able to set up a post-plant position each time. That's 3 rounds in a row they've successfully planted and been able to find the win over Loud. The bonus one being even bigger here to put Loud back down on low buy if Aspas cannot scrounge up a few guns for the team. Looks like they'll try to just at least control alt orb and a little A main. Loud does not like to give up space.
Not at all.
That's for sure. Pushing out mid already too.
Trying to find the early information, and this is something that Loud is currently doing that Leviathan weren't really doing. Look at Sadak pushing all the way down towards the C lane. That said, though, there is the alarm bot left behind by Shy, so that he could just focus on a garage peek, a front B, while the rest could try to fight against weaker weaponry on the A site. But as things calm down, it's still being pinged out, so stay aware
Sadak.
here is what being called by Leviathan in his corner.
What a good creep up from Sadak. They've actually allowed just C long to be open the whole time. Sadak wants to make a home at the end of it this time. Almost with two there. King trades it back, but I don't think that's instant movement here for Leviathan.
They're rotating back towards the A side, and that's where that hero rifle is too. So Kaladin connects onto the first kill, and Aspas is tucking through. So Kaladin's gonna play the bait, gonna try to peek out to try to get information, making them think that it's gonna be a weaker site on A if Kaladin dies. Meanwhile, though, Manzino's still pushing up towards the B site. There's that shock dart for the kill, and Aspas damaged at 36.
Yeah.
But Leviathan pulls back to try to work towards B.
It's gonna be 2Es. The Sheriff's the third Sheriff kill in the round for Loud.
And 13 seconds left. There's that flank coming out from the window. Doesn't spot anybody yet. Nazwar and Shy on both extremities. Les getting the headshot. 4 seconds left. Trying to connect onto the shot. It's back to a one-on-one. Nazwar has to chase it. Looks into the wrong angle. Aspas with the off angle towards Bunny. Gets around here for Loud.
And the saved Phantom to secure the kill coming in. Wow, what a round there. Leviathan just got strung thin from having to rotate back over, losing 1 at C. The instant they think they can go back to A, already pushed up, they lose 1 at A, and they're down to 3 members without even leaving their side of the map. That becomes an incredibly tough round, especially when you're trying to play the anti-eco. Loud just rushed right through. 9-7 now. They reset the money on the side of Leviathan, but there's still enough economy there from the round win strung together. Straight towards C here is Lev much quicker on this strategy now as they try to put their foot down.
And X marks their spot. Yeah. X marks the spot, rather. You saw the High Tide and even the Toxic Stream coming up and crossing swords there at the entrance of the garage, preventing Leviathan from pushing anywhere at all.
Sadak's first kills this game. They're counting for sure. Put those in the books because it's what has put Loud on top a few times here in these rounds. 1 minute left. All the time in the world to still work the spike around the map. It's down in window right now.
There's no smoke, so the only other opportunity is try to play the sneaky contact.
Yeah.
Almost worked out. Bless Dink down to 17 HP, but it's still pretty good for the rest of the defense, holding every single one of these angles. Look at these X's. Everybody from Leviathan was trying to find some ground, find an early rotate out of Loud, punish them, and then potentially rotate back into that angle. And now, as you could see here, losing all 3 players trying to find that play results into the last 2 attempting to save their weapons with 30 seconds left on the clock.
You see the money allowed. Not much hunting can be done. Ultimates all almost on deck right now. Les still goes out. Les is 2 away from ult. If he gets one more, every single person on Loud is 1 away from ultimate to continue rolling this game over on Leviathan, and that becomes so difficult. Saved weapon here from Noswer. Still having a decent game on that Sova. Gonna need it. His Hunter's Fury will go.
It would be nice.
As well, Sadak peeks out. Gets him. That's crazy. Sadak's opening and closing kills are cherry on top right now.
I like that. You know, the banner did pop up. It's kind of like a censorship thing. Please don't look.
Don't look. Just censor this.
It's a difficult fight to take. He loses it, but the silver lining is that he does have the Hunter's Fury ready into the next round. And with the economy you just saw before we got into the replay, we should still be looking pretty good for a buy for Leviathan here on the attack. So lots of ultimates off the board, or on the board rather. Mazzino to create space. Hunter's Fury and Bladestorm for the aggression, and it's a split towards C.
A few members here.
Well, this is good.
Oh, trying to make the work
Paranoia.
happen. Back and forth. Yeah, it gets blind out for a second.
Oh my God, how does Les stay alive?
They're in spawn right now, working front or back to front on Loud from their own defense.
And Noswer is trying to find a push towards the C from the A site rather, and didn't spot anybody yet. But Leviathan, what a sweet little play.
Yeah. Just a little bit of misdirection can do so much damage to the defense of Loud on that.
Exactly.
Great job by Mazzino being able to get to the backside and just cause chaos with that from the shadows map blur that you achieve.
Reckoning for the retake, big flash coming through, and Aspas gets 2 kills. Dashing away as Noswer drops down instantly. There's only Noswer left. Landing up the first kill, turning around, trying to win against Aspas while we're still tapping onto the spike. And Tui's is ADSing right there for the kill, and that is some great protocol for Loud, who puts up 11 rounds on Haven.
That timing is incredible. Your opponent, why is it incredible? Because your opponent knows it's going to happen, but Loud still makes it look like Leviathan is looking the wrong way on each engagement, from Sadak on C to the push coming up from that flank on long here from Aspas. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Incredible stuff.
Still want to give some credit on how Leviathan entered into that site, though. That from the shadows, that pushed Les away from his position, allowing Takulia to dash forward so that he could combine on a kill against Les was a great play. Unfortunately, couldn't get the kill fast enough. Made it difficult for the positioning as into this round. Aspas doing what Takulia couldn't do. Rolling Thunder now in to dash into the site. Tui's is hit by that, but is protected by the poison orb left up here by his teammate Sadak. Trailblazer in from the spawn. Leviathan thinks that they have position into the A site, but look at the flood right back in from Loud. And it's Loud once again all across the board. And they are now at that point.
What a flip in the script. The way that Loud has been playing, those first few rounds we saw for Leviathan was stay in sight. The double controller composition will just smoke us out and not give us angles. So Loud start playing this just flood retake before Lev can even set that up. Everybody in sight getting taken down, and we still saw Sadak rotating all the way over. Wasn't even needed in that play as the long push came in. His info did allow Loud to know that everybody was in a site most likely for that take, though. So it's the little bits of info they're giving each other too. Back towards long.
And backs against the wall. That's Leviathan trying to fight back. 5 opportunities for Loud to close up the first map. And 4 players of Leviathan stacked up on the A side, and once again Shy doing that responsibility of making sure there's no pushes coming out from C or B.
And even with just that last round, we see Aspas taking sewers. That was attempted many times by Leviathan without success, even with King behind in the breach. Ooh. As they just go for a Viper's Pit, rather, that would force the hand of Leviathan back.
This is a very nice pit, because now you can get some great cover behind graffiti, and it's such a long pathing from sewers. Exactly, you're moving out with 1 HP into the pit, so that's a great pit right now to prevent Leviathan from getting any ground control on an A side split, so they're falling back now.
And look how many times you'd have to clear them. Maybe lower, maybe then again on sewers when you get up, then again to the left once you get in sight. Just mayhem to be able to deal with it A, but if you go C, you're getting the same treatment from Aspas' operator.
Yep.
He looks to get another peek on. I think he saw the head.
Definitely did.
Yep.
Now through the smoke, the headshot to King, and that is going to be the last resort. The last 3 players make that even 2, trying to work in the A side. Big paranoia to try to gain some ground. Flash out from the Poison Orb, and a flawless round for Loud to finish a solidified 13-7 on the first map of Haven.
And man, that second half looked dominant. Loud controlling the hand of Leviathan after the first few rounds and which way they'd go, how the strat would flow. And Loud came up huge. Aspas grabbing the up, obviously starts to become big, but less closing out a lot of these rounds. Sadak starting off a lot of these rounds. Really big stuff to be able to find those key factor plays that just allowed Loud to suffocate Leviathan here on Haven.
That's why I was saying aloud before. You get it?
It was so hard.
That joke?
Yeah. Expect it.
But with that said, definitely, it does seem at some point that Leviathan were trying to refine a little bit of their strategies going into this map, despite having that same combination. Some nice little cheeky plays that they had on the attacker. Great start for the beginning of every single one of these halves. So definitely putting some great work into the pistol rounds, but unfortunately it wasn't enough once Loud was able to get their economy right and just dominating these gun rounds and sealing the deal in his first map. So with that, we're gonna step away, but up next is Dash and the analyst desk to break it all down for us.
Red Bull gives you wings.